The heavens were opened, so proclaims the gospel writers. And it's not only noted by Luke, Mark, and Matthew, but it's something that the people of God had seen. Can you imagine what it was like to see the heavens open? One of the other Gospels talks about the sky being rented in two. We listen to these Gospels, and we as priests and deacons pray this Gospel frequently because it's one of the Gospels that we use at all of the baptisms that we celebrate. And I often think about, the sky opening, being rented in two. It's like a cloudy day and someone just reached up and kind of like just parted the sky. It's kind of hard to visualize. And I've often wondered, what is the significance of that? The sky opening up. Yes, it allowed the Holy Spirit to come down from heaven, to descend upon Jesus. But Hippolytus, who was writing in the 3rd century, who was also attributed as being the author of our second Eucharistic prayer that I will pray today, talks about that the sacred moment, Jesus is baptized, and he's off praying, and all of a sudden, the heavens are open. And what Hippolytus talked about is the reality that now that Jesus' mission is beginning, his public ministry is beginning, heaven is open so that he could lead us to the glory of heaven, so that we could ascend to the heights of heaven. Everything was being put in place from the time of the conception of Jesus to his baptism. But now, this sacred day, on the baptism of the Lord, heaven is open for us so that we can ascend to the heights of heaven and enter the glory of being in the presence of God for all of eternity. It's an amazing concept. Hippolytus would also say the heavens were closed until this sacred moment. But now that everything is in place, everything is set, everything is where it needs to be, and Jesus has already blessed the waters of baptism that make a beginning for all of us, heaven can be opened now so that we again can relish, take joy in being in the presence of God the Father. And it's interesting, so Jesus now begins his public ministry. And Isaiah, in today's first reading, talks about the reality of how the Messiah will go about doing his ministry. And I love the way Isaiah prophesied, and we know it gets fulfilled. He goes about doing his ministry of leading us to the heights of heaven, not crying out, not shouting. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. He goes about his ministry in a very beautiful and wonderful way. We see it when he ministers to those who come to him. We see it as he ministers to the adulterous woman at the well. We see him as he's encountering people. He takes them where they are and gently leads them to where he wants them to be. He wants them to ascend the heights of heaven. He wants them to enjoy the beauty of what God himself, God the Father, had opened for humanity. And Jesus knew it would take time. Jesus knew that he had to touch people's hearts. I think that's a phenomenal thing to think about. How did Jesus deal with most? He dined with them. He socialized with them. He dialogued with them. He didn't cram everything of the mystery of the kingdom of heaven into their heart in one single moment. No, he dialogued. He took time. He moved people from where they were to where he wanted them to go. What a beautiful thing. And here we have the same ministry. Here we have the same option. Jesus wants us to participate in his saving mission. The heavens have been opened. He is leading the way, but he calls us to be a part of that mission. He calls us to help lead people to the heights of heaven. And we have to follow his example. We have to be a people of prayer. We have to be a people who go about doing the ministry of Jesus, not crying out, not shouting, not breaking the bruised reed or quenching the smoldering wick. We have to go about it with patience, and help Jesus move people from where they are to where we believe they need to be, ascending the heights of heaven. We all come from broken families. We know of people that are broken. We know of people that are maybe not following the precepts of the church or not following the commandments. How we go about engaging them to climb the heights of heaven makes a big difference of how they climb and how well they climb and ascend to the heights of heaven. Let's do what we can to make sure we don't break the broken reed. Let's do what we can to make sure we don't quench the smoldering wick. Our society is famous for breaking people, taking people in the midst of their weaknesses, and making them feel even worse. Jesus wants us to take them where they are. He wants us to minister to them. He wants us to be patient with them and help them ascend to the heights of heaven. Heaven was open for a reason. Heaven was open for us. Heaven was opened up for our brothers and sisters. Let's do what we can to help Jesus in his mission of helping people ascend to the glory of what God has opened for us because of the ministry of Jesus, that ministry which we share. Let's not break the broken reed. Let's not quench the smoldering wick, but let's help people ascend to the heights of that which is now open for us.